In the long and storied history of the United States, there are objects that capture the American imagination. They are more than just things. They are pieces of a larger story, filled with mystery, drama, and a sense of destiny. One such object is a small circle of gold, no bigger than a silver dollar, but it carries the weight of history on its shoulders. This is the 1933 Saint-Gaudens double eagle. It is a coin that was never meant to exist in the hands of the public. It was born at a time of great national crisis and was ordered to be destroyed before it ever saw the light of day. It is, quite simply, the most valuable coin in the world, a forbidden treasure. The story of this coin is not just about its immense value, which has climbed into the millions of dollars. It is a tale that weaves together art, politics, and the law. It touches upon the presidency of Franklin D. Roosevelt and the dark days of the Great Depression. It involves a secretive deal with an Egyptian king, a high-stakes auction in New York City, and decades of legal battles that reached the highest courts in the land. This one coin represents a unique moment in time, a crossroads in American history, when the nation turned away from gold and charted a new economic course. Its survival is nothing short of a miracle, a fluke of history that created a legend. To understand the 1933 double eagle is to understand a paradox. It is a piece of U.S. currency that is illegal to own, yet one single example was made legal through a historic government agreement. This coin's journey is a detective story, filled with shadowy figures, secret safes, and a global chase that spanned more than half a century. It is a story of how a few coins slipped through the grasp of the U.S. Mint, becoming numismatic ghosts. These coins were hunted by the Secret Service for decades, with most being seized and melted down, just as they were supposed to be in 1933. But a few, like whispers in the wind, remained. Why does this single piece of gold hold such power over us? Its allure comes from its rarity, of course, but it's more than that. It is a symbol of what was lost, the end of an era when money was backed by tangible, shining gold. The coin's design is considered one of the most beautiful ever created, a masterpiece of American art. Its story is a testament to the human desire to possess the unobtainable, to hold a piece of history in one's hand. It is a story about treasure, not just in the monetary sense, but the treasure of our shared past. This is the saga of the 1933 double eagle, America's most famous and elusive coin. The story of this remarkable coin begins not in a time of crisis, but in a time of great optimism at the dawn of the 20th century. President Theodore Roosevelt, a man of boundless energy and vision, believed that America's coinage was uninspired and unworthy of a great nation. He wanted American coins to be beautiful, to be works of art that would rival those of ancient Greece and Rome. He dreamed of a renaissance for American money, and he knew just the artist to bring his vision to life. Roosevelt reached out to a man he deeply admired, the renowned sculptor Augustus Saint-Gaudens. Saint-Gaudens was one of America's greatest artists, known for his powerful and elegant monuments. Though he was in poor health, he was inspired by the president's personal request. He set out to create a coin of breathtaking beauty. For the $20 gold piece, known as the double eagle, he designed an image that would become iconic. On one side, he sculpted a powerful figure of Lady Liberty, striding forward with a torch in one hand and an olive branch in the other. Her hair flows in the wind, and the sun's rays rise behind her, symbolizing a new dawn for America. It was a vision of progress, strength, and enlightenment. On the other side of the coin, the reverse, Saint-Gaudens depicted a majestic American eagle in flight, soaring high above the sun. It was a departure from the static heraldic eagles that had appeared on earlier coins. This eagle was alive, dynamic, and free, a perfect symbol for a nation on the rise. The level of detail was extraordinary, from the individual feathers on the eagle's wings to the folds in Liberty's gown. Roosevelt was thrilled with the design, calling it the most beautiful coin since the time of the ancient Greeks. The first Saint-Gaudens double eagles were minted in 1907, and they were immediately hailed as a triumph of numismatic art. For the next quarter century, the U.S. Mint produced these stunning gold coins for circulation. They were the workhorses of American commerce, used in large transactions and international trade. Each coin contained nearly a full ounce of pure gold, a tangible store of wealth that people could trust. The design was so beloved that it continued to be produced year after year, a constant and beautiful presence in American life. Little did anyone know that the final minting of this coin in the year 1933 would be unlike any other. It would mark the end of an era and the beginning of a legend that would last for generations. By 1933, the optimism that had given birth to the Saint-Gaudens double eagle was a distant memory. The United States was in the firm grip of the Great Depression, the worst economic crisis in its history. Banks were failing by the thousands, life savings were wiped out overnight, and millions of Americans were unemployed and desperate. People were hoarding gold, pulling it out of the banking system because they trusted the solid metal more than they trusted paper money or financial institutions. This hoarding only made the crisis worse, as it drained the nation's gold reserves and threatened to collapse the entire financial system. In March of 1933, a new president, Franklin D. Roosevelt, took office. He knew that he needed to take drastic and immediate action to save the country. One of his first and most dramatic acts was to confront the gold crisis head-on. On April 5, 1933, Roosevelt signed Executive Order 6102. This order made it illegal for private citizens to own most forms of gold, including gold coins and bullion. Americans were ordered to turn in their gold to the federal government in exchange for paper currency at the fixed rate of $20.67 per ounce. The government needed to take control of the gold supply to stabilize the economy. This executive order had a direct and fatal impact on the 1933 double eagle. That year, the Philadelphia Mint had produced 445,500 of these beautiful gold coins. They were struck and ready to be released into circulation, just as they had been for the past 25 years. But because of Roosevelt's new order, they were never issued. They were now contraband. The government had no intention of letting nearly 500,000 gold coins enter a system where gold ownership was now forbidden. The coins, though fully minted and dated 1933, were rendered obsolete before they ever left the mint's vaults. The fate of these coins was sealed. The government ordered that all 445,500 of the 1933 double eagles were to be melted down. Their gold would be turned into bars and stored in the nation's deep vaults, like the newly constructed Fort Knox. The beautiful designs of Augustus St. Gaudens were to be returned to an anonymous, molten state. It was a sad, but necessary act in a time of national emergency. The coins, which represented the pinnacle of American minting, were now just bullion. Officially, every single 1933 double eagle was accounted for and destroyed. The story, it seemed, was over before it had even begun. The official records were clear. All 1933 double eagles had been melted down. The U.S. Mint's accounting showed a perfect balance with no coins missing, but in the hidden corners of the Philadelphia Mint, something had gone wrong. Sometime in the mid-1930s, a small number of these destroyed coins secretly slipped out of the facility. The exact details of how they escaped have been lost to time and shrouded in mystery, but it is widely believed that a mint cashier, perhaps with the help of others, managed to swap some of the 1933 coins for older double eagles, walking away with the forbidden treasure. For nearly a decade, the existence of these escaped coins was a secret known only to a small circle of collectors. The coins began to appear quietly on the numismatic market, passing from dealer to dealer. One of the primary figures in their distribution was a Philadelphia jeweler named Israel Swit. He was a well-known dealer in coins and scrap metal, and he somehow acquired a number of the 1933 double eagles. He then sold them to collectors who were eager to own such a rare and unusual piece. At the time, no one knew for sure if they were legal to own, but their rarity was undeniable and incredibly tempting. The secret finally came out in the open in 1944. A reporter for a coin publication wrote an article about a 1933 double eagle that had been sold at an auction, and this article caught the attention of the U.S. Secret Service. The agency, which is responsible for protecting the nation's currency, immediately launched an investigation. They realized that these coins should not exist in private hands. They were, in the eyes of the government, stolen property. The Secret Service began the arduous task of tracking down every single 1933 double eagle that had been sold by Israel Swit and other dealers. Over the next decade, the Secret Service successfully located and seized 9 of the escaped coins. The collectors who owned them were forced to surrender their prized possessions without compensation. The government's position was firm. Since the coins were never officially issued as money, they remained the property of the United States. One by one, the recovered coins were destroyed, finally meeting the fate they were meant to have in 1933. The investigation seemed to be closing the book on the mystery, but the government soon discovered that one coin had traveled far beyond their reach, into the collection of a foreign king. While the Secret Service was busy tracking down the illegal coins inside the United States, one 1933 double eagle had embarked on an international journey. In early 1944, just before the government investigation began, a 1933 double eagle was purchased for the vast coin collection of King Farouk of Egypt. Farouk was a passionate collector with an enormous appetite for rare and exotic items, and his coin collection was one of the finest in the world. To make the purchase official, his government followed protocol and applied to the U.S. Treasury Department for an export license to ship the coin out of the country. In a fateful bureaucratic mistake, the U.S. Treasury Department granted the export license. At the time, no one in the office that approved the paperwork realized the significance of the 1933 date. The coin was legally shipped to Egypt and placed in King Farouk's magnificent collection. A few weeks later, when the Secret Service began its investigation and discovered the existence of the Farouk coin, they were in a difficult position. The coin was now sovereign property in a foreign country, and diplomatic sensitivities made it impossible to simply demand its return. The coin remained in Egypt, safe from the grasp of U.S. authorities. King Farouk's reign came to an end in 1952 when he was overthrown in a military coup. The new Egyptian government decided to auction off his lavish collections of art, cars, and coins to raise money. The massive auction of the palace collections of Egypt was scheduled for 1954, and the 1933 double eagle was listed as one of the lots. When the U.S. government learned of the sale, they formally requested that the coin be withdrawn from the auction and returned to the United States. The Egyptian government agreed to the request, and the coin was pulled from the sale, but then, the coin simply vanished. For the next 40 years, the location of the King Farouk 1933 double eagle was a complete mystery. It was rumored to be in a secret vault in Egypt, or perhaps it had been stolen and was now hidden in a private collection somewhere in Europe. The coin had disappeared from the public eye, elevating its status from a mere rarity to a numismatic legend. It became the ghost of the coin world, the ultimate prize that was known to exist but could not be found. Its mysterious disappearance only added to its allure, and collectors around the world dreamed of one day solving the puzzle of the lost king's coin. The mystery of the missing King Farouk coin was dramatically solved in 1996. A prominent British coin dealer named Stephen Fenton walked into the Waldorf Astoria Hotel in New York City with the long-lost 1933 double eagle in his possession. He had acquired the coin and was attempting to sell it to an American collector. However, he was actually walking into a sting operation. U.S. federal agents swooped in and seized the coin, and Fenton was arrested. What followed was not a quick resolution, but a 5-year legal battle over the ownership of this legendary piece of gold. Fenton argued that he had purchased the coin legally, and that it had a legitimate history, having once been owned by King Farouk. The U.S. government countered with its long-held position that the coin was stolen government property and could never be privately owned. The case was complex, involving international law and a bureaucratic mistake made half a century earlier. After years of legal wrangling, a unique and honestly unprecedented settlement was reached. The government agreed to issue and monetize this single 1933 double eagle, making it the only one in the world that could be legally owned by a private individual. In return, the coin would be sold at auction, with the proceeds split between Fenton and the U.S. Treasury. On July 30th, 2002, the world of collecting held its breath. The legendary King Farouk 1933 double eagle was put up for auction by Sotheby's in New York. The bidding was fierce and lasted for just 9 minutes. When the final gavel fell, the coin had sold for a staggering $7.59 million, which included the buyer's premium plus $20 to monetize its face value. This price shattered the world record for any coin ever sold at auction, more than doubling the previous record. The buyer remained anonymous, but the world now knew that the legendary coin was not only real, but had found a new home. The story, however, did not end there. The value of this unique piece of history only continued to grow. In 2021, the same coin was put up for auction once again. This time, it sold for an incredible $18.9 million, breaking its own record and cementing its status as the most valuable coin on the planet. This sale was a testament to the coin's powerful story, its unparalleled rarity, and its sheer beauty. From its creation in a time of optimism to its near destruction in a time of crisis, and its incredible journey through the hands of a king and the courts of law, this one coin had become a global icon of treasure and history. The 1933 double eagle is so much more than just a piece of currency with a high price tag. It is a powerful symbol, a physical artifact that tells a sweeping story of American history. Its very existence is tied to one of the most pivotal moments in the nation's economic life: the end of the gold standard for its citizens. Before 1933, wealth was often measured in gold. Money was a promise backed by a physical, tangible metal. The decision by Franklin D. Roosevelt to take the country off the gold standard was a fundamental shift, moving the nation toward a modern fiat currency system where money's value is based on faith in the government. The coin itself is a work of art, representing a high point in American creativity. The partnership between President Theodore Roosevelt and sculptor Augustus Saint-Gaudens was a testament to the idea that even everyday objects could be beautiful and inspiring. The striding liberty on the coin's face is a powerful emblem of American ideals, of freedom, progress, and hope. The fact that this particular coin was saved from the melting pot means that this artistic vision survived. It is a masterpiece that was almost lost to history, a remnant of a golden age of American coinage that came to an abrupt and dramatic end. Furthermore, the coin's legal journey makes it a fascinating case study in the intersection of law, history, and ownership. The decades-long pursuit by the Secret Service, the unique settlement that monetized a single coin, and the subsequent legal battles over other discovered examples all highlight a central question: who owns history? Is it the government which creates the artifacts, or the individuals who managed to preserve them? The 1933 double eagle is a tangible symbol of this complex legal and philosophical debate. It is a coin that is both priceless and, for all but one example, illegal, a paradox that fascinates lawyers and historians alike. Ultimately, the coin represents the enduring power of a good story. It is a tale of survival against all odds. It survived a presidential order for its destruction, it survived being lost for decades after a royal coup, and it survived a complex legal battle that could have seen it disappear back into a government vault forever. Its story is filled with mystery, royalty, and high-stakes drama, which is why it captures the public imagination. It is not just a coin, it is a protagonist in a historical epic. It reminds us that some objects are imbued with a meaning that far exceeds their material worth. The story of the 1933 double eagle did not end with the record-breaking auction of the King Farouk coin. In 2003, just a year after that historic sale, the family of Israel Swit, the Philadelphia jeweler who had originally distributed the coins in the 1930s, made a startling discovery. Joan Langboard, Swit's daughter, found 10 more 1933 double eagles hidden in a family safe deposit box. Believing the coins were their rightful property, the family contacted the U.S. Mint, hoping to have them authenticated, and perhaps even legalized, just as the Farouk coin had been. The family sent the 10 coins to the U.S. Mint for authentication. The Mint confirmed they were genuine 1933 double eagles, but instead of returning them, the government seized them. The government's argument was the same one it had used for over 60 years. The coins were stolen government property that had never been legally issued. This action triggered a decade-long legal battle between the Langboard family and the United States government. The family argued that the coins could have left the Mint legally during a small window of time in 1933, and they deserved to keep their inheritance. The case went through numerous courts, with victories and defeats for both sides. At one point, a jury in a lower court sided with the family, ruling that the government had not proven the coins were stolen. This gave the family a brief moment of hope that they might get to keep their incredible find. However, that decision was later overturned by a higher appellate court. The judges on this court ruled that the government's ownership of the coins was absolute. They determined that any 1933 double eagle found in private hands could only be there as a result of theft from the U.S. In 2016, the U.S. Supreme Court declined to hear the family's final appeal, bringing the long legal fight to an end. The decision of the appellate court stood. The 10 Langboard coins belong to the U.S. government. These 10 coins are now stored at the Fort Knox Bullion Depository, alongside the nation's gold reserves. They will never be sold or privately owned. This landmark case solidified the government's position and reinforced the unique status of the one single, solitary King Farouk coin. The fate of the Langboard hoard proved once and for all that there can only be one. Today, on October 26, 2025, the 1933 Double Eagle stands alone in the world of collecting. It is more than a coin, it is a national icon. Its story is a microcosm of the American experience, touching on ambition, crisis, and the ongoing debate about what we, as a people, truly value. The coin's journey from the artist's studio to the auction block is a testament to its resilience. It is a survivor, a relic from a bygone era that has managed to navigate the complexities of the modern world. Its status as the only legally private example makes it the ultimate treasure, a Mona Lisa of the numismatic world. The saga of this coin serves as a powerful reminder of how history is made. It is often not a straight line but a messy and unpredictable path filled with mistakes, chance encounters, and human drama. If not for a clerical error in an export office in 1944, the King Farouk coin would likely have been seized and melted just like the others. Its entire legacy rests on that one small twist of fate. This randomness is part of its appeal, suggesting that history is not just made by presidents and laws, but also by forgotten clerks, tenacious collectors, and the simple persistence of a physical object. The coin's incredible value, now close to $19 million, speaks to a deep human fascination with rarity and uniqueness. In a world of mass production, the 1933 Double Eagle is the absolute opposite. It is a singular object with a story that can never be replicated. Owning it is like owning a piece of the American narrative itself. It represents the end of the gold standard, the power of presidential authority, and the long arm of the law. Its gleaming gold surface reflects not just light, but the dreams and struggles of a nation at a turning point in its history. In the end, the 1933 Saint-Gaudens Double Eagle is a symbol of rare value in every sense of the word. It is a rare work of art, a rare survivor of government policy, and a rare example of a government making an exception to its own rules. Its story is a rich tapestry woven from threads of art, law, and history. As it rests securely in a private collection, its legend only continues to grow, capturing the imagination of anyone who hears its tale. It is a small piece of gold that tells one of America's greatest stories, a story of a forbidden treasure that became a national legend.